I am not an optimist, and I'm not a pessimist. I'm a realist. Because if you don't face the facts, that's it. I face them on stage, in school, with my children, and with my fellow man. And that's the only way. That's God and truth.
You mentioned God there, and I read in your book that everyone says to you, you must be a very religious woman. And your answer to that is?
My answer is, I don't know whether I am or not. But if you choose to see something, or if you see something, and it comes through, and it strikes you that way, then perhaps I am. And I truly hope so.
Now you might have heard my reputation's not so good. Well, everything they say is true, so knock on wood. I'm not gonna change my ways, you understand. Not while I've got something that's still in demand. And even when I'm old and gray and in my rocking chair, I wouldn't put it past me to start a new affair. Rocking in my rocking chair, sipping on my gin. Someone makes a pass, from force of habit I'll give in. I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing till I can't do what I'm doing no more. I'm gonna keep on heading straight to ruin with a big welcome sign on my door. Well-meaning people bore me, always trying to reform me when I know as sure as 2 and 2 make 4. I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing till I can't do what I'm doing no more. Go on, girl, keep on doing it. My reputation wasn't so good. Well, everything they said was true, so knock on wood. But I'm not gonna change, no, sir, not me. I like the things I'm doing, and I guarantee. So let them criticize me, I don't mind at all. While they're criticizing, only Pearl is having a ball. Let them say someday I'll come to no end. Well, honey, all right, but until that day, my friend, I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing till I can't do what I'm doing no more. Honey, Pearl's gonna keep on heading straight to ruin, and I ain't gonna stop to keep score. So the odds are 1 to 7 if I ever get to heaven and I put that foot inside St. Peter's door. I'm gonna keep on doing what I'm doing till I can't do what I'm doing. Let me go to ruin. Well, I can't do what I'm doing no more, no more, no more. You want a bet?
Pearl Bailey, known to friends and fans alike as Pearly Mae. She's been part of the entertainment business for 50 years, and at the top for nearly 40. Her voice and her style are unique, immediately recognizable to anyone with even a passing interest in popular music.
You're an original. Where does it come from?
God.
There's more than God. Well, I shouldn't say there's more than God, but you help.
I know what you mean. No, God gives one many gifts, and then you go from there. Because the reason I had to stop there was because I've never had a lesson in my life. The only lessons I've had in singing, dancing, or whatever, they came from life. See, suddenly I said, well, here's a dance step. My brother took me on the stores. It was something called American stores at that time. I had 3 steps. And he taught me my first, like, a tap dance step. It's the most, I would say, a lesson. Most of my lessons, and I think most of all of our lessons, except for, like, you technically have to learn how to push buttons and things, the rest of it has to come from experience. I didn't write, somebody kept telling me to write a book. I was going to write a book about a life. I've lived a life. And then suddenly it kept on. I wrote the book. Now I've written 5 books. I'm, right now, fooling around with writing after many, many years, a 6th book. But where does that come from? I'm not an author. But as you experience life, so you can learn.
Take 2 to tango, 2 to tango, 2 to really get the feeling of romance. Let's do the tango, do the tango, do the dance of love. You can sail on a ship by yourself, take a nap or a nip by yourself. You can get into debt on your own. There are lots of things that you can do alone, oh, but it takes two to tango, two to tango, two to really get the feeling of romance. Let's do the tango, do the tango, do the dance of love, yeah! Come on, Willie! You just stepped on my foot. Back up! Back up! All it takes two to tango, two to tango, two to really get the feeling of romance. Let's do the tango, do the tango, do the dance of love. You can croon to the moon by yourself. You can laugh like a loon by yourself. Spend a lot, go to pot on your own. There are lots of things that you can do alone. Whoa, but it takes two to tango, two to tango, two to really get the feeling of romance. Let's do the tango, do the tango, do the dance of love. It takes two, takes two. You know, somehow it always takes two. And I'm with you. Yeah! Back up!
Born in 1918 in Newport News, Virginia, Pearl was the youngest of 4 children of the Reverend Joseph Bailey and his wife Eller Mae. She had 2 sisters and brother Willie, a tap dancer and protege of Bill Bojangles Robinson. Her parents divorced while she was still a child, but she attributes her sense of rhythm and harmony to her father's revivalist religion. As she says, "From him I got wisdom and soul." So when brother Willie joined vaudeville, Pearl, not unnaturally, was also attracted to the footlights.
Where did you get started? In Philadelphia?
In Philadelphia, in an amateur show. But there are no amateur shows now. And to be in the amateur shows when I started, you had to be excellent.
What was the song, do you remember?
Yes, but of course. Poor Butterfly.
Lovely
Poor Butterfly, yes, B flat. And right now I do it, and I do it in the same key, the same arrangement. I made it up in my head, and then I got they applauded, and I did Talk of the Town, and then I could dance, too. You see, my brother was the great dancer, Bill Bailey. But I can tell you, poor butterfly, neath the blossoms waiting for da-da-dee. How many now would you dare to say arpeggio and they sing and make an arpeggio and turn them loose? They can't even keep in tune. Poor butterfly, neath the blossoms waiting. Poor butterfly, 'cause she loved him so. The moments turn into hours, for hours turn into years. And as she smiles through her tears, she murmurs low, the moon and I know that he'll be faithful, and that he'll come to her by and by,
come back, I will never cry outside. I just must die. Poor butterfly.
This initial success whetted her appetite for show business, and Pearl promptly left school to become an entertainer. She won another amateur contest at New York's Apollo Theater, having gone there because she was too late for the contest at the Harlem Opera House. As she says in her autobiography, The Raw Pearl, that was probably a lucky break. The winner at Harlem that night was a young girl called Eller Fitzgerald. As Pearl says, that voice will go down in history. The young Pearl entered the rough-and-tumble world of Pennsylvania coal mining towns, worked nightclubs in Washington and Baltimore as vocalist with Count Basie and Cootie Williams, and with USO troops during World War II. By 1944, she was established as a New York nightclub performer, and then replaced Cab Calloway's featured singer, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, before making her debut on the legitimate stage.
My first Broadway show was St. Louis Blues.
Of course.
St. Louis Woman.
St. Louis Woman. Yes.
And isn't it something, the ballad from there, Rain or Shine, which has become one of the classics of all time, Harold Arlen, Johnny Mercer. The big song was not the big song. It didn't become that large. I had the two things I got the Donaldson Award for. It's a woman's prerogative to change your mind, and Legalize My Name. And they were humorous. And now, in every show I do, and it just literally stops the show, I'm going to love you like nobody loves you, come rain or come shine. A St. Louis Woman, oh, that to me is one of the greatest scores of all time.
I don't know who it was who wrote it, or by whose pen it was signed. Someone once said, and I quote it, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. He may have you in a halter, harnessed before and behind, but till you kneel at that altar, it's a woman's prerogative to change her mind. Promise anything, anything at all. Promise everything. Honey, don't swerve. Throw 'em all curves. String 'em along till they show you what they've independence is the woman's prerogative to change her mind. They say precedent makes a thing a law. Hooray, precedent. I can say yes when I mean no. It's hard to believe, but they tell me that it's legally so. So don't fret how much you kiss them if on their couch you recline. Don't forget we've got a system. It's a woman's prerogative to change her mind.
By the early 50s, Pearl Bailey was a top entertainer and had gone on to appear in films like Carmen Jones and St. Louis Blues, and in further stage shows such as Arms and the Girl, Bless You All, and House of Flowers.
You have some lovely songs associated with you. I love Don't Like Goodbyes from House of Flowers.
But it was, I didn't do that. I didn't do the ballad. I didn't do Rain or Shine in St. Louis Woman. Some never
But
gave
you
him that.
recorded them.
Yes, later on. Now, everybody says, sing a ballad, Pearl. They didn't realize that I started with ballads. Diane Carroll was the one who did that.
It's not easy. It's never been easy to let anyone see the sentimental side of me. Hard as I try, I can't help but show. It's my heart you're taking when you go. Don't like goodbyes, tears or sighs. I'm not too good at leaving time. I got no taste for grieving time. No, no, not me. You've been my near one, ever my dear one. I never thought that I would find another love, a different kind. But it came to be. Now that your future is looking up, forget the past and go fill your loving cup. But remember, living is fine, and the world overhead has a clear new shine. Traveling time, and you must move on. Found someone you can lean upon. And if I could arrange it, oh, would I care to change it? Not me.
Carmen Jones, which of course was another good score. You did the film, and
Let's be they.
yes.
Well,
I should say lyrics.
And Preminger, out of Preminger, they say the toughest director. Everybody says he hollers. How'd you ever get by? He never hollered at me. He said, why? And he said, why don't you holler at her? He said, yeah, listen, I give her direction, she goes that way. But I'll never forget, we were recording for the picture. First of all, I'm the only one I think that used the voice, see, because you can imagine this soprano and Pearl and Mae with the soprano with the with contralto voice doing that would have been awful. It would have been terrible. And it was beautiful because he was trying to get something. And in the recording studio, the man kept saying, yes, he says, it's not exactly what I want. And the man says, but that's Bizet, and we can't stop. He said, but I want some of her, give us space. He says, but Bizet keeps going. He says, when you open up Bizet and let Bailey in. Isn't it marvelous? They tell me in England when they played, they stood right up in the middle of the movie and just gave a standing ovation.
Tell you why I wanna dance. It ain't the sweetness in the music. I like the sweetness in the music, but that ain't why I wanna dance. It's something thumping in the bass. There's something thumping on the music. That bumping on the music is all I need to start me off. I don't need nothing else. Maybe I do. To start me on. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. And I don't need no tune at all. Beat me that rhythm on the drum. Beat me that rhythm on the drum. Beat me that rhythm on the drum. And I don't need no tune at all. Beating in my bones. It feel like 20 million tom-toms. I know there's 20 million tom-toms beating way down deep inside my bones. I feel it beating in my heart, and then I get a kind of dream, and in my dream it kind of seems there's one big heart in all the world. There ain't but one big heart in all the world. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. There's one big heart in all the world. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. Beat out that rhythm on the drum. There's one big heart for all the world. Now that heart is beating fast, and that's the rhythm I can dance to. I'm mighty glad I got a chance to, with one big heart that's beating fast. Tomorrow morning let it rain, tomorrow morning let it pour. Tonight we in the groove together, ain't gonna worry about stormy weather. Gonna kick old trouble out the door. Beat out that trouble drum. Beat out old trouble drum. Beat out old trouble drum. And kick the cockles out the door. Beat me that rhythm on drum. Beat me that rhythm on drum. Beat me that a drum and kick old trouble out the door. Kick him out the door, kick him out the door, kick him out the door, kick him out the door.
Undoubtedly, Pearl Bailey's greatest stage triumph was in 1967, when she was chosen by David Merrick to head an all-black cast for a revamped version of Hello, Dolly, a cast which included a friend from the 40s, Cab Calloway.
I saw you in Hello, Dolly when I first came to New York, and after the show, the curtain came down, went up again, and you did a whole, well, what I call an act. It looked like, was it rehearsed?
No, that wasn't rehearsed. See, they would applaud so much. You realize how many people ran up to the front of that stage and would reach over for my hand. Now, people ordinarily don't frightened of lights. I don't even think they knew they were up there, or they would never, as an audience. Now, when they didn't go, they were hungry for something else. It's a hunger in this world for kindness, for words, and I would just start talking to them about anything. The late Walter Winchell had said something about it, because he came and he used to sit on the back steps of there, and that was rare, This was Winchell, the powerhouse. And he said that he had never seen anything like that occur in the theater. Jolson brought that kind of thing up. But you see, you cannot ask people, for instance, we opened in Washington, D.C., and the old National Theater. You cannot imagine people in a top balcony will not stand ever because the feeling of falling. They never stood up. It wasn't a stand ovation. I think I wrote in a book, they popped up like bread out of a toaster, just pop. I don't know what brought them to their feet.
I saw them running down from the balcony one night when I was there. Now, I went back a few times just to see what you were trying to do there. It was incredible.
They reached for love.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye. Don't try and stop me, Horace, please. Wave your little hand and whisper, so long, dearie, you ain't gonna see me anymore. But when you discover that your life is dreary, don't come a-knocking at my door, 'cause I'll be all dressed up and singing that song that says you dog, I told you so. So wave your little hand and whisper, so long, dearie, dearie, should have said so long ago. Oh, you treat me so rotten and rough, I've had enough of feeling low. So wave your little hand and whisper, so long, dearie, dearie, should have said so long ago. Oh, I hear that choo-choo calling me home to that fancy new address. Yes, I hear that choo-choo calling me home on board that Happiness Express. I'm gonna learn to hoochie-cooch and smoke a cigarette. I'm gonna spar away from Yonkers as a girl can get. So and on those cold winter nights, Horace, snuggle up to your old cash register. It's a little lumpy, but it rings. Yes, sir, I'll be all stuffed up and singing that song that says you don't. I told you so. Or if you will find your life a sad old story when you see your Dolly shuffle off to glory. Oh, I should have said so long ago.
Way back in 1944, when Pearl appeared at the Village Vanguard in New York, the club's owner, Max Gordon, suggested that she relax and be herself on the stage. And so she evolved a lazy, throwaway style of singing, today undoubtedly her trademark.
It is strange that somehow what I say, or maybe the way I say things, makes people laugh. So somehow they want to say, oh, aren't you a comedian? No, I am not. I say that I tell stories to music. You laugh at the way I'll say something. But I am not a comedian. What I say, I'm totally serious about. And I tell jokes on stage. I don't sing the blues. I can cry the blues pretty good. You know, if you get broke, you cry the blues.
This is a sad and tragic story of a young girl named Minnie. Minnie was going on her first party. And it was her first time among gentlemen friends. So her mother called into the room, said, my daughter, you're going to run into temptation. And I love you so much. So Minnie, men, be very, very careful. But Minnie had to go and lose it at the Astor. She didn't take her mother's good advice. Now there aren't so many girls today who have one. And she couldn't let it go for any price. They searched the place from penthouse to the cellar, in every room and underneath each bed. Once they thought they saw it laying on a pillow, but they found it belonged to someone else instead. Oh, honey, the child lost it at the Astor. She didn't know exactly whom to blame. Now, she didn't know where or how she lost it. She only knew she had a thing whenever she came there. They questioned all the bellboys and the porters. The chef appeared to be the guilty guy. But then the doorman started acting so suspicious. But he coyly said, I'm sure it wasn't I. Oh, the child dropped it at the Astor. It nearly killed her mother and her dad. Now they felt as bad about the thing as she did. But after all, well, it was the only one the child had. They just about completed all the searching when the chauffeur walked up with it in his hand. All they did was stand and gape. There was Minnie's sable cape. Well, honey, and she thought that she had lost it at that door.
Deeply religious, Pearl Bailey has nonetheless had a checkered private life. According to whichever source you read, she's been married 4 or 5 times. To quote her, let's forget about the others, honey. Wouldn't it be kinder all round? For in 1952, she married the white drummer, Louis Bellson. And this was at a time when interracial marriages were virtually unheard of. Today, they've raised 2 adopted children, and the marriage is as strong as ever.
My husband, Louis Bellson, who's total music. Louis is total arranger, composer, conductor, the whole bit, and originator of the double bass drum.
Love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? There's nothing too good for a man who is true. Baby, ain't I good to you? I bought a Vicuna coat for Christmas, a diamond ring, a big Cadillac car, 61 that is, and everything. It's love that makes me treat you the way that I do. Ain't I good to you? You say that love makes you treat me the way that you do. I'm telling you, I should be nice to you. You told me there was nothing too good for a woman, that's true. That's nice. I'm gonna be good to you. I discovered a chinchilla under my Christmas tree. A Rolls Royce was waiting at the door for me. You told me that was love that make you treat me like you do. Ooh, well, honey, I should be nice to you. Remember that Vicuna coat for Christmas. Don't forget the diamond ring. Big Cadillac car. Everything love makes me treat you the way that I do. Gee, baby, ain't I good to you? Holy mackerel. Who do you think I am?
Pearl Bailey officially retired in 1976 to serve as a member of the U.S. delegation to the United Nations. Fortunately for all, the retirement was short-lived. She still makes the occasional appearance as well as being a student at Washington University. But most important, she's still involved in music and regrets the changing style and attitudes to music and entertainment.
The man in the street has every right to sit in the balcony for $4 or $5 and see an act that he remembers from records or time. The man in the street has every right not to be charged a fortune, to go in to just hear one person stand up there for 90 minutes and say something that everybody on the corner can say.
I also think it's a shame that people like yourself, or younger people,
Yes?
don't get a chance. They haven't got anywhere to practice.
Oh, there's no... Well, what I think we lost, we have no apprenticeship. I've been saying it for years and years. I think over 20 years. We stopped it. Young people write and say, how do I get started? Where are you going to get started? I got a daughter. I'm going to be in show business else. I said, where? Where are you going to be in show business? We have lost our apprenticeship. That's what I meant by vaudeville. We had, in my era, we had Sophie Tucker to look at. We had Bill Robinson to look at. We had someone. All we have created is a bunch of puppets who copy each other. And if it's commercial, honey, and then it makes a buck, that's it. There are many, many talented young people. But being a schoolgirl, too, I wish the drama teachers, I wish these people who say they are teaching people singing and dancing, I wish they would tell them it's not all in the books. For heaven's sakes, nothing is in the book will tell you, Terry, what to do on stage if it rains through the ceiling. Nothing in the book will tell you what to do if the audience doesn't applaud. Nothing in the book. It is not in the book. It's in the book, and then it's in those bricks out there where you hit the streets and find out what's going on. That's show business.
When the only sound in the empty street is the heavy tread of the heavy feet that belong to a lonesome cop, I open shop. When the moon so long has been gazing down on the wayward ways of this wayward town, that her smile becomes a smirk. Well, I go to work. Love for sale. Appetizing young love for sale. Love that's fresh and still unspoiled. Love that's only lightly soiled. Love sale. Oh, tell me who is gonna buy? Will you tell me who would like to sample my supply? And tell me who's prepared to pay that little price for that trip to paradise. I'm talking about love for sale. Honey, let your poets, let them type of love in their childish ways. 'Cause I know every type of love better far than fame. If you want the thrill of love, old pearl's been through the mill of love. Honey, I had old love, I've had new love, had every love but true love, love for sale. Appetizing, real appetizing young love for sale. So, if you want to buy my wares, follow me and climb those stairs. Love for sale. I'm talking about love. I wouldn't take up all this time for nothing. Love for sale.
This may sound strange coming from a performer. Some of the loudness, my Lord, if they would just turn some of the music down. It's a total Star Wars all over. So many singers think the louder the music is, the better they scream and the more power. That's not what creates excitement. The excitement comes from the soul, from the heart. Barry Como, you can hear 48 pieces. You can hear Frank, 48 pieces. You can hear Bing Crosby, you can hear 48, 50 people. Because they will not buy that kind of music. Somebody says, yeah, but you know the one in the back can't hear. I said, but the one in the front is collapsing. Or on the stage with big bands. Sweetheart, they only had exactly what you got in front of me, one microphone. And each band man got up and went over to the mic and he played his solo and sat down. The singer came out and sang on the same mic, right? Now, if you go to hear a big band, every musician has a microphone in front of him. You just tune up your ears, you hear. How did the great ones, how did Lester Young hear, how did Ellington, how did they hear each other? I always wish now all the young singers of the world would be forced into a studio to listen to Donna Washington sing and know what diction is. People say, do you like rock and roll now? It's very nice. And all the other things that are going on, they're nice, some good, some bad. But it takes a 3-year-old, it's funny, the 3-year-old children of America can understand every record. But my age group in 30, you don't understand it. But the 3-year-olds interpret those words. I don't know how.
I think that's what you've hit on there, because I've recently been going back over old songs and your own before this interview, and even songs that are 30, 40 years old, you still hear new things in the lyrics.
See, I told you, my daughter, and she was on the TV show, and she can really sing, talented, and so is my son. But it's so fantastic. I said, stop copying. She adores Streisand, who you can understand, who can sing, thank goodness. But the copyists, I said, open your mouth. You don't know what you're saying. Now, she was singing at this particular time, had on a TV show. It was a big special. And love soft as an easy chair, evergreen. I said, tell me something. Do you know what you're saying? Well, she mean love like I can sit down easy. I said, no. Go in the living room, sit on the soft, easy chair, and then come back and know the feeling. They take themselves and they try to deliver. The young singers today think if they get that mic close to their mouths and mutter the word, that's where the sex and the feeling and the this comes from. It doesn't. It comes from your living, your experience, and your caring.
tired of the life I lead, tired of the blues I breathe, tired counting things I need. Gonna cut out white, and that's the truth. Get a brand new dye while I got my youth. Tired of the clothes I wear, tired of the patches there. I'm so tired of the crows I scare. I'll truck downtown and spend my mood, get some short bam shoes and a new guy too. Cleaning and mopping, dusting and shopping, sure leaves my grandma with a scar. All that washing and scrubbing, starching and a tubbing, don't make me look like no Hetty Lamar. I'm so tired. All the tears I've shed, tired of living in the red, tired of my same old bed. I'll live the life of Cindy Lou and do the things I know she'd do. I'm tired, mighty tired of you. Well, I'll tell you the truth. I guess by now you all have the general idea. Darling, Pearlie is tired. I go a little further. Pearl is exhausted. I think I'll go see me one of them high-class physicians. What do they call them? The psycho, there's one of them words. I won't get mixed up with it tonight. I'm too tired to even think about it anymore. I tell you what. I think a little more in keeping with my pocketbook. I better go to one of the just plain, old-fashioned doctors. Wonder how much he'll charge. Wonder what he'll tell me. Whatever you tell me, honey, he can save the time, because I know what I need, darling. Girl needs some rest. Relax, girl, so you can live your life like Cindy Lou and do the things that I know she'd do. I'm tired, mighty tired of you. Ooh, honey, if I don't go somewhere and lay down, or is it lie down soon? I don't know. I think I'll just fall over. I'm exhausted.
Do you have any regrets with talking about some of the things that you tried to do?
I was thinking the other day, I said, Louis, you know, if for a moment, I'd go back, if we all could just go back. Well, actually, we were in the car, and the man was playing some great old band records. I said, oh, boy, you just push the button, go back for a few minutes, but you know what, Sophie? No. I'll tell you why. The old songs, they tell it like it was and like it is and will be. A lot of the new stuff they're writing now tells it like they would like for it to be. I feel the minute the writers, some of you have some good young writers, but in the majority they could never touch the older writers.
Where do you find your material then?
From the old songs. And some of the new. Now, the thing like, You Don't Send Me Flowers Anymore, I think it's songs like that, and Anne Murray sings. See, I go for the singers that, of course, after Ella Fitzgerald, then I count down, because that to me is the end. Her, Sarah, I like the singing of people like Anne Murray. I want to hear the words. In the music, I want to hear the melody. It's appalling now that the songwriters today are writing 6 bars and repeating them for 60 times. Well, where in the world are the 32-bar, 64-bar songs? You know, Irving Berlin's not quite a square. There's some pretty good stuff came out of him. All the Harold Allens, all the Mercers. Where are these people? If you notice, you'll see some of these things on television, these specials they have, you know, the rock special or the disc special. And it's so pitiful to see these singles come out And they do the thing, and they're mouthing to the record or whatever, but it has no ending. It fades out. And most of the time, you wish they would fade right on out with the fade out.
I let his schemes fill my dreams with rapture. Believe the lovely things he said. To heaven I was carried. Then we were married. I should have quit when I was ahead. He said I'd nap in the lap of plenty and have a gold and silver bed. He promised me some mink rags. I got some stink rags. I should have quit when I was ahead. My single life was simple life in all its glory until I got deluded by this youth. And I learned that there were two sides to every story, his side, and the truth, you better believe it. He said we'd skip on a ship to China. In pink champagne we dunked our bread. He said we'd have a show place, a French chateau place. We lived at 6900 South No Place. Honey, I should have quit when I was ahead. He said we'd never have a bit of stormy weather. It snowed so much we had it for dessert. He said we always get a kick out of life together. I did, and it hurt in Chicago. He slyly hint of a mint of money. I bought the license when we wed. He said I'd trip with orchids like those New York kids. The only presents I got was 4 kids. Need I admit, I should have quit when I was ahead. Well, now I know now. I should have quit when I was ahead.
Whenever you're down, what sort of music do you head for?
You asked me something that I did a lecture, and a journalistic student walked up to the front of the stage and he said, Miss Bailey, how do you stay so high? I mean, I was thinking, I said, God. And then I said, wait a minute. I've been low, too. And I said, but you know what? And that quick, it all came together, Terry. When I was low, that was my highest. So in answer to you, what music do I head for? I couldn't say I head for anything. Because music, if it's beautiful, if it's in tune, and I love all music, rock, anything. There's music in everything that God made. There is music. There are words there. They have to come from your experience. The rhythm of my fellow man's heart. That's the rhythm that I live by. That is my music, my fellow man.
Composers. Who comes first? Or which group come first, do you think?
The Ellingtons. One of the dearest friends I have did the Caravan Petito, Juan Tizol, who was the original Ellington man. Certainly Harold Arlen, Johnny Mercer. These are my musicians. Cole Porter, I think. The word men. See, I separate them. The music men, I would go into the Ellingtons, the Arlens, in the words. Cole Porter, Mercer. These are songs that'll live forever. I love good music. I just love good music. I'm gonna love you like nobody loves you, come rain or come shine. High as a mountain, deep as a river, come rain or come shine. I guess when you met me, it was just one of those things. But don't ever bet me, 'cause I'm gonna be true if you let me. You're gonna love me
like nobody loves me, come rain or come shine. We'll be happy together, or unhappy together. Won't it be fine? My days may be cloudy or sunny. We'll be in or we'll be out of the money. Yeah, but I'm with you always. I'm with you, rain or shine. Oh, you're gonna love me. Nobody loves me. Come rain or come shine. Happy together, unhappy together. Oh my, won't it be fine? Oh, my days may be cloudy or sunny. We're in all, we're out of the money. But I'm with you always. Yes, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm with you, rain or shine. Rain or shine. Rain or shine.
Allison White arranged that tribute to Pearl Bailey. ABC Radio 1 and 3, Eastern Time is 9 o'clock.